Labour HQ falls into chaos as Jeremy Corbyn gets destroyed by Andrew Neil on national TV. Now, as you all know, I make videos every day, especially during this election, and every now and then I tell myself, maybe I should take a break for one day at least, and then Jeremy Corbyn opens his mouth and doesn't really give me any time to breathe. So yesterday, Corbyn was interviewed by Andrew Neil about his election campaign, and it was a pre-recorded interview, and minutes before it was actually aired on the BBC, we received leaked messages from a group chat from inside Labour HQ. This was a reaction from Labour staffers within Labour HQ. Labour has pre-recorded the Andrew Neil interview already, and apparently it's truly horrific, like awful. And it goes on to say that Jeremy Corbyn refused to apologise to the rabbi and it's going to be brutal. And Andrew Neil ripped it apart. Here's what we need to do now. Don't share the info I've posted outside of here. See, never say that in a group chat because people will eventually leak. Don't attack Andrew Neil. Don't say he's gone badly. Push integrity, policies, vision, WASPI and everything else that they have. Ignore Brexit entirely. So nothing's changed. And so this is the Labour Party panicking before the show had even actually aired on TV. Now let's go through some bits of the actual interview and break it down to see what actually was said.
I mean, wouldn't you like to take this opportunity tonight to apologise to the British Jewish community for what's happened?
What I'll say is this. I am determined that our society will be safe for people of all faiths. I don't want anyone to be feeling insecure in our society, and our government will protect every community against the abuse they receive on the streets, on the trains, or in any other form of life.
Try one more time.
No, hang on a minute, Andrew. Can I explain what we're trying to do?
You have, and you've been given plenty of time to do it. I asked you if you wanted to apologise.
Andrew,
and you haven't.
So no apology. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. No regret. No issue from the Jeremy Corbyn's leadership team. So that's one issue. But it moved on to Brexit and Remainers.
People that voted Remain and are living difficult lives, universal credit, private rented, poor lives.
Why are you remaining neutral?
Can I finish, please?
Firstly, it just said Remainers who've experienced hardship. Let's watch that bit again.
People that voted Remain and are living difficult lives.
Yeah, so is it only Remainers? I'm pretty sure there are also some Brexiteers who come from poorer backgrounds and families. Also, I've met a lot of Remainers who are very privileged with their champagnes and everything. So I don't know what he's talking about.
Poor lives.
Why are you remaining neutral?
Can I finish, please?
I'm just asking you why you're remaining neutral.
I'm trying to explain what our policy is.
And still no views, no leadership from Jeremy Corbyn on this issue.
What would you
do during the referendum campaign? Would you go on holiday?
No, I'd be running the government.
Well, that's a good point. He should probably go on holiday, and he should probably go to Russia or Cuba to hang out with his anti-British friends, because he will be completely useless during this campaign, if we even have this referendum.
In this deal that you are hoping to negotiate, if you got it, would it include free movement, as we have now?
There would be, obviously, movement of people probably related to economic and social needs. There would be a guarantee of family rights and family reunion, as indeed I proposed in 2016.
So it would be the same as now?
Finish.
Free movement
There will be a lot of movement.
Right.
See, that's the problem with Jeremy Corbyn and Labour. Their policy is clearly for open borders and free movement. But because they realised recently over the last couple of weeks the backlash and the reaction that the voters have shown towards this policy, they're keeping the policy, but when they are interviewed, when they're asked about this, they just, don't give you a straight answer. They say, oh, we'll have a big chunk of free movement, whatever that means. You either have open border or not.
Spending. You've outlined a huge spending spree, over 80 billion extra a year. And you say it can all be paid for out of taxing the rich and business. But it's not true, is it, Mr. Corbyn? People on modest incomes are going to pay more tax under your plans.
only those earning over £80,000 per year will see a tax increase.
Well, let's hold on. You're scrapping the marriage allowance.
The marriage allowance is £250 a year.
And that goes to people earning less than 80,000.
For married couples, but those people that are cohabiting in a very happy family atmosphere and bringing up children do not get the benefit of that.
But those who do get it will lose it.
It seems to me this is a step towards equality,
You may be right. My point is,
started a long time ago.
You may be right. That's not my point. My point is that these people, there's almost 2 million of them, are going to lose £250, and they earn a lot less than 80,000.
See, we've said this before on this channel. It's going to be everyone who's going to be hit by tax rises, including the working class.
I'll give you another example. You're going to have higher dividend taxes, and that'll hit people on modest incomes too, not just the rich. Take somebody on a state pension. Maybe they've also got an annuity of about 4,000, a small private pension, and they've saved and they've got dividend income of about 2,000. At the moment, they pay £9 in income tax. That's it. Under you, they'll pay over £400 in income tax. We're talking about people who are just on £14,000 a year.
They'll be taxed on the basis of their total income.
14,000. Yeah, they'll pay 400 more.
Yes, it's not just big business, it's small businesses. Small businesses including plumbers and cleaners and various other industries who are already struggling to make it happen in the markets that we have. And Jeremy Corbyn just doesn't care about them at all.
You often imply that these top 5%, they actually don't pay much tax at the moment, and you're going to make them do so. What share of income tax revenues do they currently pay?
They pay a top rate of about 45-50%.
No, what share of income tax revenues do they contribute?
They contribute quite a lot, of course.
How much?
I couldn't give you the exact figure, but they contribute quite a lot.
They already contribute 50% of all income tax
But they are
revenues.
on very high earnings.
Of course, and they're paying a very high amount of tax.
We think they could and should pay a little bit more.
See, that's really worrying, because when you're a leader of the opposition, you need to know your basic facts and the simple stats about taxation and how much 5% of the public are actually contributing to the economy. But again, socialists don't really care how much they're stealing your money. They just steal your money, and ideally they will take it all, but they can't these days.
You intend to borrow hundreds of billions for investment. You're going to borrow couple of hundred million more for nationalisation. You're going to borrow billions for the Green Deal. Borrow. Is there no limit to what can go on the Corbyn credit card?
Well, first of all, for nationalisation, you don't borrow. What you do is change share ownership for government bonds. It becomes an investment from which we...
You're creating more government debt.
No. Can I finish?
You're creating debt.
If you take over a company, say a water company, and you exchange those shares for government bonds, you then own the water company, the public as a whole. It would be run very differently, and the income from the water comes to the public.
But to acquire these companies, you have to issue more debt.
You see, again, he just doesn't understand economics. I always say the best way to identify a socialist is to sit down and have a very quick chat about economics, and then you'll be like, oh yeah, he's a socialist. It doesn't work this way. You can't just print money, borrow money, and just call it government bonds and everything's fine, because not many people understand what you're talking about.
You said you were going to compensate the WASPI women, and they're the ones who feel they've been hard done by on state pensions. But I don't see, I've got your grey book here, the costings for it. I don't see any sign of how you're going to pay for that.
I've got a grey book here if you want.
Yeah. No, I've got yours, that's fine. Where do you pay for it?
It's, first of all, let's deal with the issue.
No, I know the issue, and I understand
the issue.
You might,
but I'm not sure all our viewers
do.
But
I'd like to know where you go. Let's assume it's a great issue, and you're right. How do you pay for it?
It's a moral case. Those women...
How do you pay
Those
for it?
women were shortchanged by government, shortchanged in 2011 by the change in the pension rate. I met a group...
I'm accepting that, Mr. Corbyn. I'm asking you, it costs 60 billion.
Andrew,
how do you pay for it?
Can I explain why?
No, I'd like you to explain how you pay for it.
Let me explain why.
Explain how you pay for it. That's my question.
Let me explain why.
Now, I love this because he's asked a question and he keeps answering a whole different question repeatedly and repeatedly. And he was wondering why the viewers are so put off of his behaviour. Also, we know exactly why he randomly decided to make this pledge about the pensioners, the women who were affected by the rise in the pension age. It's because it happened after they actually wrote the manifesto. It's because Boris Johnson last week was asked by one of their activists about this issue, and then Jeremy Corbyn, the Labour Party, were watching and thinking, oh, we forgot about this. Let's just make a pledge and say we're going to give them billions and billions of money without actually costing it. So that's exactly why Labour decided to pledge all this spending ideas without actually putting it in the manifesto, because it was last minute. Now, earlier today, Jeremy Corbyn also had a press conference on, he exposed a secret document on the NHS and Donald Trump. So we are posting another video straight after this on that issue, so make sure that you tune in and subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and click on the bell next to it so you get notified when that video comes out. And if you want to stay up to date with all election news and Brexit news, then make sure you follow me on Twitter and Instagram. You can find them down here. And make sure you check out our merchandise page. We have various t-shirt designs. We have the new All I Want for Christmas is Brexit, but also the Get Brexit Done, Make Britain Independent Again t-shirts. Make sure you check out the link in the description. And I'm Tousi. I'll see you in the next video.